Yeah. Here we go. Episode 121 of the Trash Talk Business Podcast. This is our opportunity to come together each and every week to start, grow, and build our junk removal dream. As always, I'm Andy Weins, and this week I am joined by longtime listener, longtime texter, first time in the flesh, Grant Gauvreau. And for those of you watching at home, you can see he phonetically put it on the board because he has 37 letters in his last name, and I pronounce it every way. There's like 7 E's and a couple A's. Grant, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Excellent job on my name. I've heard it a bunch of different ways, so I appreciate that very much. And I'd first like to say thank you for your service.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Oh, we got some dings in the background. It's blowing up. First time on the Trash Talk Business Podcast, and the fans are going wild. They want to see more of Grant. That's the story I'm fucking spinning. All right, Grant, why are you on the show? How'd you get here today? You know how we start things. We go with a broad question and we'll narrow it into something later.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show. I've been listening for obviously quite some time now.
Yep.
Started a few years back in insurance. I was selling health and property and casualty. And it's actually a funny story how I got out of it and got into junk removal. I was having dinner with a friend of mine, and I wanted to text my employer, "Hey, I'm not coming in tomorrow." And he wrote up a message and sent it, and I got started the next day. So that was that.
What was your friend doing at the time?
He was down visiting from up north, and we were having dinner, and I've been talking about opening a business. And I just needed a little extra push, and that was it.
I love it. That's the old Tracy. What was Tracy's last name? Tracy listened to one episode of the podcast. We're like, yeah, you should quit your job. And then he did, like the next day. It was like, all right, well, that might a little excessive. And yet, last I checked, he was now he's getting into demo work and GC work. And it's like he went from making tires to owning a business, right? And it's like, I tell people all the time, like, hey, get into junk removal and figure it out. I don't care if it turns into landscaping, like in house cleaning, flipping, demolition, like beats the shit out of a 9-to-5 that you hate, right? And that's the thing. That's that paralysis by analysis. People think they got to have all the fucking answers, and it's like, no, you don't. You need to have one answer, right? And if the answer is I hate my current job, okay, that's true. Let's build a house on the foundation of I hate my job, right? So like, let's look at your case. It's like, okay, I don't like my job. Well, what else is true? Well, I've wanted to start junk removal. All right, well, what else is true? I'm apprehensive about quitting my current job and sending my employer a message. Okay, cool. Can you sub that out? Can you delegate that responsibility to somebody else? Yes, you can. Done. DUN, done.
Right. And it's interesting because I actually enjoyed my job before, but I was actually going through a time where Hurricane Ian hit a few years ago, and I was actually in the process of demoing our house.
Okay.
So I kind of took the opportunity to save some money on demo, start the business at the same time, and grew slowly up into the point after we finished the house, which was in August of 22, 23 last year. I kind of jumped into it. I started in March of last year and kind of jumped into it with, 40 hours a week plus in August of last year. So I've definitely enjoyed it. I've never worked for myself before. Always had, bosses in different industries and fields. And what I've been trying to do is, take what I've learned from working for other people, and I guess I'm really excited to be, a boss myself. Not a boss, but more of like a team member.
I like it. Okay, let's get, you know me, I wrote a book, Words Fucking Matter, available on Amazon. No big deal. Shout out to myself. Shameless plug. Also full of coffee stains. Like, full transparency, that if you want to know where my coffee cup goes, it's there. I have a journal, which I need to take home and use, and a stack of these books. Steal Like an Artist, Austin what was it? Cleon? Whatever. He wrote Steal Like an Artist, Keep Going, and Show Your Work. And these books, I've read all these in a day, which is really fast for me in a book. Shout out to him. And for some reason, these ended up on my desk one time, and now it's like, those three, and this is my secondary coffee cup holder. I have my Green Bay Packer koozie. So, we did a tour of my work. There we go. Go Pack Go. No big deal.
Very nice.
Third Hall of Fame quarterback in a row, Jordan Love. Probably Super Bowl champions this year. No big deal. Big flex. Casey's not on the show anymore. So the people that were upset that we talked football, I guess, are going to be happier now. There'll be less football talk.
At least you don't talk about the Cowboys. So
yeah. Cowboy down. I was going somewhere. Oh, words fucking matter. Okay, you said you were trying, right? You're trying. So let's rework that sentence. Get rid of the word trying. I'm giving you a free coaching opportunity.
No, I appreciate it. I read your book, and we were living at my in-laws at the time, and I actually need to order a new one since I kind of lost it during the move. But yeah, I agree with using words that.
So what are you doing? Talk to me. What are you doing? Right. What have you incorporated from your previous employers now that you are right in charge? Right, you're an entrepreneur. You're the in charge guy. Whatever that is. Let's owner, because owner is always a good generic term. So now as an owner, what are some of those things that you have incorporated that serve you in your business now?
Well, I guess the first thing would probably be habits. Getting into good habits from the day one.
Mm-hmm.
Treating people with respect, especially on the client side. I noticed in previous lines of work that I was in that the boss never exactly was thrilled with some clients, and they let that be known. So treating all of my clients with respect has been really, really helpful in earning business. Telling clients, I appreciate the opportunity to earn your business. I really enjoy hearing what people and clients have to say about that. I've retained a lot of business from doing so, and also earned new business as well. But yeah, I generally try and maintain a super positive attitude because no one wants to work with someone who's not.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I kind of, since I've been working under someone for obviously a while, I'm 29. I've been working under someone, and I know what it's like to have someone who you put in the effort and the time, and you're not really compensated as you should be, and I know what that's like. And
Yep.
when I hire my first team member or founding partner or whatever role I decide to bring them on as, I want them to I want it to be a good environment. And Taylor from Up and Away, I believe his name is. He was
He's a good dude.
pretty big. Yeah. I haven't spoken with him personally, but I follow him, and as an owner operator myself, I kind of want to post on on my social media and say that we have a 0% turnover rate as well, but that might be cheating a little bit. So
he went 1 year 0% turnover. Every single one of his guys were there for a year. So yeah, shout out Taylor up and away down there in Georgia. He came up here to the facility at one time. He's a good dude. Yeah, he's overall good dude, good family man. He came up to me at a Junk World conference a couple of years ago, the one that JRA put on, and just straight up came up to him and was like, "What's up, man? Great to meet you." Like, I spent like 2 minutes of your time. Like, what are we doing, man? We ended up being best friends by the end of the weekend, right? I was like, "No, let's go." We ate dinner that night together. I went out with him and a bunch of other young jokers the next night and had dinner. So, yeah, no, he's a house. He's a powerhouse in his market, and he's recognized. He gets recognized, across the nation for his success he's had with employee retention and culture. He does a great job of it. Also, wicked smart guy in marketing. I'll have him back on the podcast. He's only on the podcast one time, so he's definitely a good dude to have around. So let's go back to your timetable. How long you said you were doing it as a side hustle ever, or was it all, or you just jumped all the way right in?
Yeah, so due to the demolition on our house, we were destroyed by Hurricane Ian.
Yeah.
I had to devote a lot of time to the house, and at that time in March, I was in the process of getting the business formally set up.
Yeah.
And I focused on obviously Google has become kind of a struggle to get a business profile, but just doing mostly administrative stuff. Insurance was a big one, so I got all my my ducks in a row, so to speak, on that front. and kind of experimented a little bit with Google Ads, which I've delegated to another company now to run for me.
Yep.
That's going well. Yeah, up until about August, I was just kind of learning the ropes. I bought a 7x16 utility trailer
Yep.
to start off with, and that's been my.
What year is this again?
This is last year.
Last year. Okay, so it's 1 year anniversary this month, essentially.
Yeah, I guess.
Ish.
On paper, it was in March, but full time
Yeah,
would be.
Yeah, operational. That's okay. That's what I thought. When you said 40 hours, yeah, to get our listeners and me caught up. So 1 year anniversary. And so you said when you hire, I guess I missed that. Do you have employees now, or are you running solo still?
Nope, still running myself, everything, which I enjoy. I heard a phrase the other day. I was like, there's nothing, or there's being a business owner has a lot of positives and a lot of negatives, and a lot of times the positives outweigh the negatives. But yeah, I'm doing it all myself. I truly enjoy what I do. I wake up every day and I hit the ground running. Whether like tomorrow, I have a job starting at 7, and
Yeah.
a previous client, and I'm looking forward to it. But I've really been enjoying it, and one of the things that I've kind of learned to do would be to, obviously, as you mentioned on your show all the time, to delegate tasks effectively.
Yep.
And I recently, like I said, changed up my ad campaign. I was doing all that myself, and it's been really beneficial to kind of hand that over to another company, which is also kind of in the junk removal dumpster space, which has been great. And then also my bookkeeping, I have another company doing that for me as well now. So I have more time to spend, as you say, humping jobs. So.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, so as I'm listening, I hear the 6 buckets of business. So it's like, okay, marketing subbed out. It's probably a bottom 3 for you. Numbers subbed out, bottom 3 for you, right? Because the focus is when the 6 buckets, you can have a high 3 and a low 3. Don't matter what they are, right? There are advantages, and like so I tell people all the time, you have a high 3, low 3. The challenge is if marketing and sales are both a low 3, you're going to struggle there, right? And when numbers and people are both a low 3, you're going to struggle there, right? They're both going to stunt your growth. Now, if operations and the thing you do are both a low 3, you're not even in business, right? Like you got to be good at one of those two things. You got to be good at banging jobs or picking up the phone, right? There's a lot more to it, but if you're not good at banging jobs, you can't even get to the other buckets, right? So, and me, for example, I was great in operations. I was good at jobs. My brother was much better at jobs. So day one, we had operations and the thing covered. And then over time, we saw our strengths. I'm stronger in sales. He's much stronger in marketing. He was stronger than me with humans and resources that are humans. I'm stronger with the numbers. So we had all 6 buckets covered. However, we did see a gap with HR, for example, resources that are human. So we subbed out payroll and we started there, right? So it doesn't matter what the thing is you sub out, right? Recognizing it. The other thing I like about you is one truck operation, you're not doing it all yourself, right? You are building a company that can already scale. There's other guys that might have a 2-truck operation that say, oh, I do everything myself. It's like, well, how does that serve you, right? And that's not a rhetorical question, right? How does that genuinely serve you? So this is what I love about where you're at, right? I always talk about, it doesn't matter what the dream is, right? Right now, you're living the dream. You got a job at 7 a.m. tomorrow, and you're not sitting here bitching about, oh, my phone's not ringing. Nope, you found someone else to do it. You're happy with their service, right? You're not buried in, I don't know where my numbers are. You hired someone to do your bookkeeping, and then they handle it so you can focus on what you can do, right? Because 2 or 3 more jobs a month, whatever the math is, covers the bookkeeper. Another 2 or 3 jobs covers the Google My Business or the marketing. So it's like, cool. Would I rather bang 5 jobs a month, 1 or 2 a week, or do the things that I do not like doing? And as soon as you put that in perspective, it's pretty obvious what you want to be doing. And I don't care if you're a 1-truck operation or a 100-truck operation. Ultimately, the goal of the visionary, right, the owner of the business, when it's the same person, whomever the visionary is to be constantly thinking about what's next, right? Looking at things from a 10x perspective. I'm reading this great book right now called 10x is Easier Than 2x. I consider it to be a must read right now for any entrepreneur. And there's 2 other books before that. The Gap and the Gain, something else. I'm gonna look them up right now. I am that excited about this book. I'm going to look up the other books. This is going to drive me nuts. I'm going to look these up now. I'm going to talk and filibuster. Because it's staging points where there's who, not how, and the gap in the game. So the gap in the game, it's like the first book, then it's who, not how, the right people, and then 10x. It's like once you figure out the gap in the game, it's focusing on the gain. What have you gained, not what don't you have, right? So you can say, well, I want a 5-truck operation. Well, it's like, okay, well, you want to spend all your time focused on the 4 trucks you don't have, or spend time on the 1 truck you do have, and how do you get 1 to 2? Right. That's why I asked when you said, hey, I've been trying, right, to incorporate. Well, it's like, what are those things? What have you incorporated to be allowed to be a business owner? 50% of businesses fail in 5 years, 80% in 10 years or whatever it is. Right. So it's like, what are you going to do to stay a fucking business owner? Right. Focusing on the gain, and then who, not how. Right. You can say, hey, how am I going to get the fucking bookkeeping done? How am I going to do fucking Facebook? Or you can say, who's going to do this for me so I can focus on what makes me great? And then 10x is the next book. It's like, okay, now you got the basics figured out. How do you get on a fucking rocket ship? How do you explode?
Right. And I think one more, I should say, I know.
There we go.
That, I have strengths and weaknesses like any other business owner or person in general, or we're all human.
Yep.
And I've realized that there are things that I'm good and not good at, or good and not great at. So being able to delegate for me has really brought a lot of stress off my shoulders, and it's allowed me to focus on the areas I'm good at, and will lead to more time to go pound the streets. I have a ton of great marketing ideas I have yet to implement because of time, which I'm trying to delegate. But I am overall just super enthusiastic about, working for myself and making people's problems disappear, because what's up, Russ?
Shout out,
we're
Russ.
in the same market.
Shout out, Russ. Boy, you guys are in the same market, and you guys play nice. That's fucking awesome. Russ Berry is a good fucking dude. We have him back on the. Anyways, all right. So here's what I want to do today a little bit, right? So this is the other thing you said, right? I'm just going to coach you up on words. You read the book. Let's turn this into a fucking full-on coaching session, because fuck it, this is what I do and what I enjoy doing, what I love doing. All right, so I'm gonna rephrase some of your language. Okay, this is what you said. You said we as humans, right? Have strengths and weaknesses. No, it's bullshit. You have strengths and you have things that aren't strengths. We don't have weaknesses, right? Because your strengths, right? When you say it's a weakness, it's like you've given up on it. When you say it's not a strength, it can be a strength, so you choose, right? You can work on it so it is higher on the strengths chart, right? Let's start with the baseline that, you know what, I am a whole person. So everything is on the strengths chart, because weakness says, well, there's this stuff that's below the line that I'm not even going to work on because I suck at it, right? No, we're not even going to go there. The other thing that's interesting is you did this, and we often do this as people, or I do this, I'll own it, right? I do this too, is we make generalizations. I did it right there. We as people, right? Versus I. No. Okay. So I, Grant, right? I have things I'm great at. Fucking own it, man. Right? And so what I'm hearing too is you have the vision you want, right? A good visionary has 20 great ideas at all times, right? There's always 20 great ideas. Now, you need to run through the filter just to figure out which of those 20 great ideas are also practical and executable, right? And drive the bottom line. And so when you free up time by delegating, you give yourself the opportunity to then pursue those other things. And that's what's exciting. And what's interesting about you versus a lot of people that I've interviewed and I've talked to in this industry, you're thinking next versus now. A lot of people are thinking now. What do I got to get through to get this week, right? There's this hurried or sense or panic. With you, it doesn't look like anything phases you, right? You're like, yep, doing the thing. I'm where I need to be. You're not, this is where I want to be. No, this is where I am. It's not, right? Even, hey, I delegated these things, so now I can do that. Right. So that's interesting, because a lot of entrepreneurs, myself included, right? I'll own this. We're always on the next thing. We're, like that self-governing, is one of the things that we struggle with.
Yeah, and to your point also, you've said it multiple times on your show, but I truly believe, and I mention it all the time to people, I have a mentor through SCORE, which has been super helpful. But
Yes.
um, what do you say about 90 days from now? What you do now affects you in 90 days is so
100%.
true.
Yeah,
So
I told my team today, I was like, my head's in December 1st. I'm already in December 1st right now. What do I need to do this week to impact December 1st? Shout out SCORE. Shout out SCORE. I'm gonna look up that acronym real quick. SCORE is a free resource. I just typed in SCORE mentors. There it is. All right. So SCORE is a free mentors across the country. It is, what is it called? SCORE shit. What is it called? It's like senior. I can't find it. I'm on their website. Why does it not just show me? Anyways, I'm going to figure this out. Anyways, SCORE is it's an organization. Hold on, stand for.
yeah, I don't recall what it stands for.
Remember. There it is. Service Corps of Retired Executives. I wasn't even close. I said senior. I knew they were old. Anyways, Service Corps of Retired Executives, founded in 1964. 501c3. It falls under the SBA. Here's the thing about SCORE. SCORE is a group of retired CEOs that at no cost volunteer to mentor you in business. I've been extremely fortunate to have mentors through my entire career. I had a SCORE mentor earlier in my career. Loved it. What has your experience been, Grant, with SCORE?
It's been great. We meet up for coffee, so I'm never one to turn down coffee, of course.
No. Of course not. Let's not.
But it's been great because for me, talking with someone who has an executive background, for example, he had, he oversaw like 300 employees, super corporate setting, and it's refreshing to hear his take on, debt and structure, operations, the whole shebang. And it's really nice to, hear from that kind of world. It's totally different. The corporate world versus, at least in my experience, I've never had a super corporate job like that, a cubicle job. I've worn a suit and tie, but never, 300 people corporate. But it's been tremendously helpful to understand his viewpoints on certain topics, but also it's been extremely reaffirming that the ideas and concepts that I'm talking about with him, he actually, agrees with and says, "Hey, it's a great idea. I didn't think about that." And I go over certain topics and discuss them with it. But super helpful. Only takes an hour of your time, at least for us. And I would definitely recommend it to really anyone who's listening or not listening, for that matter. It's whoever wants some advice for free, which is great.
So you already answered my question. I knew the answer. I was going to ask you the question. What is your investment, Ben? And it's your time, right? That's the thing. A lot of times, what I'm fighting is, right, the reason I do this podcast, right? We're 121 episodes, so that's significant chunk of my life over the last 2.5 years of doing episodes, right? Free of charge. I pay. Full transparency. Taylor, our producer, I pay him to be on here. This is a cash flow negative endeavor for me to do junk removal, right? I get to do this. I get to give answers for free. So when I go in the groups, I see people bitching that this is hard, this is difficult, I don't know where to go. How do I price this? Fucking phones aren't ringing. What fucking investment did you make today? Right? When you had the money, what investment did you make? When you had the time, what investments are you making? Everybody in the country, you can Google SCORE and get yourself a free mentor. Chances are they'll buy the coffee, right? And all you got to do is sit there and ask good questions and come up with ideas and have someone to bounce the idea off of. I had a woman I'm coaching now. She's like, well, I never grew up with someone around me like this. It's like, okay, well, here are what people exist, right? That's a genuine concern she had. Okay. So you don't know anybody. Actually, it wasn't a woman. It was a guy that said that. Actually, they both said it, I guess, in the last month. I still coach a few people periodically, typically not in junk removal, because I know too much and then it ends up being an issue. Not sponsored link. There you go. Not sponsored. Full send. Thank you, Taylor, our producer. SCORE is not endorsing us whatsoever. I'm giving away for free. Yes, most people do not grow up in entrepreneurial families. I did. I'm very fortunate. I grew up, father, grandfather, great grandfather, like not having jobs is a family tradition. So this is what and I ran away from it for 10 years. I did all the things except for run a business. So good on you. You're already ahead of me, right at 29. 29, 30, I was working corporate America still. So you figure that part out, and you figured out a free resource. Actually, speaking of, I completely forgot to mention this last week. I decided last week, free resource. I also decided it was free today, this morning, yesterday, whenever it was. I talked about on the podcast a few months ago while Casey and I were still doing the thing, and I was trying to figure out dates, and now I'm stopping. I'm no longer trying. I'm doing the fucking thing. October. Taylor doesn't know that. Taylor kind of knows this. Taylor's got to build the graphic on the fly as I'm saying this out loud. October 26th. There we go. October 26th. Free. Preface it with free. Free recycling summit here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So we're going to do it the 25th, 26th of October. I'll get an event together on LinkedIn and Facebook. Friday afternoon, we'll get together like 5, 6 o'clock. We'll do a introduction, go out, have dinner, break bread, meet each other, networking. And then 0800 Saturday morning, 8 hours, full on recycling. So free resource for you and your friends. That's it. I was going to price it. I was going to do this. I was going to do that. I'm like, no, I don't want any barriers to entry. I want people. Right, my goal in this industry is to make more people aware of and conscious of recycling and what recycling looks like and how to recycle better. And I got a 27,000 square foot facility to teach people. So we are doing a free recycling weekend. This is not your how to make $10,000 a week in junk removal, not your I have all the fucking answers, not your pay me a bunch of money and then get pissed off in 6 months when my system doesn't work. That's not it. Whether 2 people show up or 20 people show up, we are going to talk about recycling in this industry the weekend of October 25th and 26th. I'll have hotel accommodations and everything else. Everything's on you. You fly, you drive, sleep in your fucking car. I don't give a shit, right? Meals are on you. Everything's on you. I'll give 8 hours of my time and my warehouse for us to meet. I will supply the coffee. Coffee's on me. I got a fucking Keurig. No big deal. For people to come and learn about recycling. That's it. So open to anybody and everybody. So listeners, whether you're, in junk removal, want to get in junk removal, hell, you want to go to Milwaukee for the weekend and have a reason. I don't give a shit. Come here. I'm opening up my building. I give tours every single week. I teach realtors and property managers and everybody else about recycling. I talk about it on the show. I've done YouTube videos. Let's get, pen to paper here. Let's see where the rubber meets the road, and let's have people from the industry come out here and learn about recycling. And the other stuff is we're going to network. We're going to network. We're going to meet people. So Grant, if you can make it, right, meet you in real life. I've had a couple consulting clients that I've never met in real life. They're going to come for the weekend. So there you go. October 25th and 6th, weekend of recycling extravaganza. I'm sure Taylor in our marketing department, by marketing department, I mean Taylor, will church it up and give it a better fucking name. That's it. There you go. I completely forgot to say that last week. And yeah, I want Russ Berry there, right? I want you, Grant. I want Taylor from fucking Up and Away. I want all the players to come that want to learn more about recycling. Taylor's been here. Taylor came up here for an afternoon with what's his name? Joseph's Junk Removal. The two of them, same market. Both came up together. They bought me mustard. Taylor's dad bought me mustard. Solid fucking gift. Bring a man mustard, they said. Big fan of mustard.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I might have to try some cheese up there. I've been up there a few times in the past, but yeah, yes. That would maybe me and Russ can carpool or something.
There you go. Where you guys? What? New York upstairs? Where are you guys at?
I'm in Florida.
East. You're down in his Florida market. All right, I thought you were up north. It's northern market. You're in his new market.
Yep. And we help each other all the time, which has been terrific. I think a lot of companies, especially in our industry, view competitors as just that. And it's been tremendously helpful as a resource to reach out to others and say, hey, if you need a hand, I'm here, I'm available, need an extra truck or trailer. Or if you just, can't take a job, I'm happy to help out in any way I can.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's an abundance mindset. It is an abundance mindset versus scarcity mindset, which you have, right? You have an abundance mindset. Hey, I have abundance of time and money. Let me hire people and delegate these things so I can focus my time and energy on the things that make me great. Russ Berry's that way. Russ Berry's in those Facebook groups every day, adding value, right? I know he does his weekend retreats, right? Adding value, right? And that's what it's all about, abundance of information and value. So we grow this industry, right? We talk about this industry. It's a small industry, right? A lot of us know each other. I have the fortunate pleasure of coming here every week on the podcast and talking to people and having people chime in and get recognized when I go places. Like it's a small industry, so let's come together and build this fucking industry together. And that's exciting. Hell, one of my competitors called me back in April, asked me how to do a job, right? And because I'd met him, I was fucking cordial. I saw him on the freeway like a couple weeks before that and gave him a wave. I'm like, hey, yeah, right? Hey, right. Doesn't hurt me. I flip him off and flip her off or wave. I don't, even hell, 800 got drunk and stuff. A couple of those cats. So we've recently hired guys from College Hunks, 800 and 2 Minute in a Truck, junk removal, all working for me now. And it's like, yeah, there's no reason to be a fucking asshole to them on the road, right? They might be one of my employees in the future. So anyway, so one of my competitors, right, another person that does junk removal in our area, called me about how to do a job because he's listened to the podcast. And he knows I'm approachable. And I put my money where my mouth is, right? If I say I'm going to do something, he called me. I gave him 45 minutes of my time. Within 2 months of that call, we merged companies, and now he's our integrator at our company because he picked up the phone and called me. And I created an opportunity for that. Same with Russ. It's like, yeah, it's like you could be in the same market, right? If you think this one job is going to make or break your company, you got bigger fucking issues, right? You got to look at the long-term play. What does success look like to me, and how do I get there? And who, right? Let's go back to Dan Sullivan's book, right? Who, not how. Who can support me getting there? That's why I do this podcast. I was so excited when you got on the podcast, right? It's like you've been hanging out in the background, right? You jumped from your job to working in this industry. People always ask me, like, why do people get in this industry? It's like, well, that's a great fucking question. Like, I love hearing that answer because I love this industry, right? A lot of people don't like what they do or, would work, do something else, had they had the opportunity. It's like, well, fuck, why don't you? What's stopping you?
Yeah, I think it's, I tell all my clients in fun, it's like a paid gym membership. So I think that's pretty great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hear, right, paid gym membership. I don't have a job. I like to meet new people. I like fucking, thrifting or going through people's shit and there's a lot of fucking reasons why you love junk removal, right? For me, I grew up on it. So to me, it all comes back to recycling, right? It all comes back to what value can I get out of something somebody gives me? And I was like, oh, wait, they're going to pay me? That's even better, right? Like, and what's interesting is I got excited about that. And I don't collect stuff. I'm a minimalist. My house has almost next to nothing in it. I like the adventure of finding shit. I don't go thrifting. I fucking hate flea markets. Not gonna do it, right? But when you give it to me for free, okay, like that's interesting, right? Like I love jumping in dumpsters. I still to this day jump in every fucking dumpster I drive by because I want to see what's in there. I want to see what has been discarded by life that I can breathe life into. Like that's fucking interesting to me. That gets me excited in the morning. And other people like, what do you mean dumpster dive? Like, oh my God, you've never heard of dumpster diving? Have you watched the fucking Olympics? Like, there is a strategy to diving in a dumpster, taking the shit you want and, jumping out. Like, I've been doing that all my life. Like, I love doing that, It's intrinsically in me.
Yeah, I can't say I've actually dived in a dumpster, but I can understand how you feel about that.
Yeah. Give her hell. Just hop in. Go to one of Russ's dumpsters. He has dumpsters down there, right?
Yeah, I may have given a hand signal to his guys today leaving the landfill. It was, the one you usually see, and just in good fun. But I do want to say that approaching my transition into junk removal, what was extremely helpful to myself, and I know a ton of other people, was your show.
Awesome.
It was probably the sole reason why I got into junk removal, and I didn't really entertain the idea of owning my own business until I just decided one day, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Let me study. Let me listen to your show, see what other people are doing, what they're doing, what they could be doing differently, and it's been the most valuable resource because it's so relatable to what I've been doing, obviously, in the
Mhm.
same ministry. So I just want to thank you guys for putting in all the effort, and it's uh, it's great. Thank you.
No, I appreciate that. Means the fucking world to me. Mark Twain talks about the two most important days of your life are the day that you're born and the day you figure out why. And I've realized over the last few years, the more authentic I am, the book, the podcast, showing up to life, the more beneficial I am to the world. Right. And like, yes, I can sit here and goof about your last name, like, Grant's chiming in, right? At the end of the day, with that self-actualization that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Maslow talks about self-actualization being the pinnacle of needs, right? And what it comes down to is that a person matters, right? So it's one thing to be accepted by society, it's another thing to be appreciated by society. Um, for me, I've struggled all my life with this notion that I'm not good enough, and I still do at times, right? This wounded inner child that says, "Andy, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You don't have the answers. You don't have the money. You don't know." And I have learned over time, the last 10 years, it's been a journey. I was voluntold to go to mass resiliency training in the Army. And it was 10 years ago next month. I went to that school and it taught me, right? And that's why I'm so particular about you don't have weaknesses, you have strengths, right? You have strengths and you have things that aren't strengths, right? On the Army Strengths Finder, I talk about this in my book. It's one of my favorite jokes because it's true and I own it, right? The Army, there's a list of 24 strengths and they rank them 1 through 24, right? Zest for life is number one, right? I want to give me some fucking life. I want to be curious. I want to figure the fuck out, right? Humility is number 24, right? It's on the list. It's down there, right? So it's like, well, fuck it. I'm going to lean into that. I'm going to lean into being proud of who I am. I'm going to be leaning into excited about what I have to offer the world. And the fact that what you just said is important. My last show, I do Andy Weins live at 15:30, right before this show. The topic I covered today was understanding the world around you. And it's about asking great questions and seeking information that you can use to compare your life to a known thing, right? You said earlier, I don't think I know, right? And so the fact that you took your life, compared it to what we talked about on this show, said, okay, hold on. There's truth here. I can merge. Okay. Maybe 50% of it's good. Okay, take the 50% that's good, right? And so that, like you expressing that to me, that I've had a positive impact, that means the world to me. 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when Casey left the show, I was ready to leave the show. I'm like, okay. I said, I told Taylor, I said, I can sunset this thing. I can let this thing go. I get an hour out of my week back, right? It does not bother me to lose it. And then I said, as long as we have guests, I'll keep the show going. That's it. That's my only, right? And we keep having guests. You're on now, right? And we're building momentum. And now, because it's mine and mine alone, it was Casey's show. Casey was the visionary behind the show. He was the primary driving force. And as soon as he stepped away, it was now my show to own or to walk away from, right? And so long now that it's mine, it's like, okay. In a way, I got something to lose now, right? And I got so much to gain. I got so much I could influence the industry on. I have so many people that I can learn from, right? I have so much more I can give to the industry and individuals. So it's an absolute honor to have this show. It's an honor that people give me an hour of their week, right? We're all giving the same hour. I give an hour to talk. Y'all give an hour to fucking be a guest or an hour to listen. We're all, our ante of quantity is all the same. However, the quality, right? What we can qualify is what you just said, right? Because of this show, you had a life-changing moment. That's the good stuff in life, right? Jobs will come and go, projects will come and go. We'll fucking make some money, we'll lose some fucking money. The ability to impact others and make a positive impact in the world, that's what it's all about. You said earlier in the show too, I said, why do you like this, right? And you said, I'm making a change in people's lives, right? When people get new fucking garbage disposals or new fucking light switch, it's not life-changing. Junk removal can be life-changing. We get to see people at their most vulnerable state often, and we get to serve them in their home. the people in this industry that understand that and respect that, they'll always have more fucking work in front of them. Because they'll have 5-star reviews. They'll have referrals. They'll have people that trust them as a member of the community, right? So that's what this industry is all about. We're not your garbage man that picks up the shit on the side of the road, right? We're not a fucking logistics company that just fucking drops stuff off and picks it up. No, we go into your home and we have the opportunity to serve you in your most vulnerable state. And when people operate that way, lead with that idea of love of community, the business will take care of itself. That's the good stuff, right? I consider it as fucking Army, Billy Badass, fucking recycling guy. At the end of the day, we got to serve our community first. We got to serve the people in our community that need us and want to hire us. We're a premium service. Junk removal is a premium service. There's nothing we do that people cannot do for themselves. Right?
Depends on the market, I guess. Here I have a lot of
transfer
I
station.
agree with you. But yeah, here I mean,
well, it's not like a plumber electrician where there's a knowledge gap, right? Pick things up and put them in trailer. That's what we do, right? Like, you know,
like you said, it's simple and not easy to do, but I think that it's truly an industry where we can take pride in our work, you know, like an electrician or a plumber or a carpenter. And I think that by doing so, we allow our clients to feel better about who they're hiring. It feels like a more personal relationship. And like the other day, I had a client say, "I wish I had more junk to give you because I enjoy, our conversation." And I tried, provide that conversation and not just be like, "Hey, it's $99 and just leave." I like to build rapport with clients, and ultimately, you do that enough, and you're going to have them giving their names to all their neighbors, and it just by doing the right thing, I believe in business, that alone will help you succeed.
Yeah. So I appreciate that story, and that it's true. We have people all the time that we got great reviews, even with our, or not even with our guys. We're like, hey, these guys came in, they were kind, they were considerate, they were compassionate, they took care of us. And it's like, yeah, that's what we're going for here. Where are you going with the business, right? One truck in it. Where do you want to go? What does 1 year, 5 years, 10 years look like for you?
Well, as you start with the end state in mind.
Yep.
Obviously, I'm not in a huge metropolitan market like yourself, but I would like to be in the situation a few years from now. Definitely less than 4 trucks. I want to keep it small. I would like to. Right now, I service the county I'm in, the county below me, and the county above. I try and keep all my jobs within 30 minutes of where I leave from in the morning, which has been great. Cut down on time and gas as usual.
Oh, yeah.
I want to keep it small. Would like to become a driving force in my small market. Just in Sarasota County, I think there's like 342,000 people, which is a good amount, but it's kind of spread out a little bit. And I'm in Venice. My company's called Venice Junk Removal. There's about 39,000, I believe, people in Venice. So it's small, but as you've said again on your show, if I can capture 1% of market share, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It doesn't. I don't care what you're fucking. Look at John Happy Junk Removal out there in Arizona. He has 2 trucks. He keeps his cogs tight. He answers his phone. His son has another junk removal company in the area. He's like 4 trucks. At the end of the day, he keeps it tight and he's happy. Like, good, right? You can have a 2 truck, $600,000 to $700,000 operation, make 6 figures, and own a business and be happy and serve your community, right? I mean, the day we went from our garage, we went from 700 square foot garage that cost us $500 a month. And not even, I mean, it was we charged ourselves $500 a month in rent, right? The whole house note was $982, and we had 3 people living in the house plus our company, right? Like $500 was like exceedingly high in rent, for what we had. And we moved into a 27,000 square foot facility, right? In that moment, we were like, oh, we're scaling. right? Like now we our math, we got to run 8 trucks a day or not. We get to run 8 trucks a day this time of year. And that allows us the opportunity to keep the building and scale the business and get to where we want to go. That's where we're going, and so that's our success. That's why I love what you said, right? Begin with the end state in mind. My business ain't yours. Yours ain't mine. Hell, I was in Florida. I was in the Panhandle last week, 2 weeks ago, in Pensacola. Never been to Pensacola. It's fucking awesome. Great. Someone last week was like, well, the beaches aren't great. I'm like, they were fucking great. I don't care. Like, it's fucking white sand and the water was goddamn bath water. And I fucking body surfed. I lost a pair of sunglasses, though. I did fucking have to pay the Gulf Gods pair. And they were really nice fucking $5 sunglasses. My Folkleys, they were my favorite pair. Anyways, like that was my dream, right? I go to Florida once a year. It's like, well, it's not the Caribbean. I don't give a shit. It's better than Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan, we got cryptosporidium and poop and shit, right? And the water's cold as shit. I don't even care. I don't even care about the bacteria. Water's cold. And I'm a Sally. I do not like cold water. That's why I joined the Army, not the fucking Navy. Right. So it's like, well, that's it. I thought about that. Someone legit was like, well, Pensacola's not that nice. I'm like, I had a fucking great time. Don't ruin my fucking great time. I ate seafood and went swimming 2 days in a row. That's W's, baby. We had ourselves some W's down there.
You're more than welcome to join me in Venice here whenever you want. We can take the boat out, have as much fish as you want. I love fish. But yeah, more than welcome whenever you're here. We have a guest bedroom. Don't even hesitate.
I don't give a shit. Oh yeah, I ain't too proud. Hell, if you listen to the episode a couple weeks ago with Carol when she was when I was her, I owned the site. She was my business partner. She was our district partner. I slept in her basement for a week straight, and her husband cooked for us every night. Like, I got to know her daughter. Yeah, her dogs. I don't give a shit. Oh yeah, fuck, dude. Sarasota, it's probably like a fucking 200-hour flight. I'll come down for the fucking weekend. I will. Then I'll take you up on that. I was talking to someone a while back. They're like, I used to just fly places. I had buddies in LA. I had my aunt and uncle in Naples. I'm like, yeah, I'll winter. Back when Southwest had 79-hour flights, I would fly places and just chill for the weekend. Like I tell people, I've been rich and I've been poor, and being rich is more fun. Being poor is fucking more interesting. So like even when I was broke, I was like, I could spend $150, $200 after it's all said and done in flights and get away for the weekend. Hell, I should have been spokesperson, except for their fucking stock is shitty now because they bought 100 planes that aren't fucking flying. Apparently, so much I read the news. It's like That's like the other day I came here to the shop. I got here late, like mid morning. I have 8 trucks we normally put out every day, and I saw 3 trucks in the yard. I go, that's a shit day, right? Like that's it. Like I didn't even look at the schedule. It's like I got 5 trucks on the road, 3 sitting. That's a shit day. So I can only imagine having 100 fucking planes sitting every day. So
right.
That's a pretty big fixed expense sitting there. Or was it Spirit or Southwest? I think it was Southwest. Yeah, because Southwest, if you read Good to Great, they really highlight Southwest. And Southwest from like 1974 to present has had the highest stock returns of any company over time. And well, apparently caught up with them. So there you go, Southwest. No longer the $79 and $99 getaway flights. And yeah, is there a flight? Where do you fly in? St. Pete, Tampa, Sarasota?
Yeah, you can fly into Sarasota. I know Punta Gorda has a lot of flights also, but
regional Southwest.
Yeah, I think they fly out of there.
I used to fly to into what do you call it? Regional Southwest, right, which is Naples quite a bit. There is no. Yeah, United has no. There's a United nonstop flight, $363. Dude, done. Just go fish. You got a fucking boat? Let's go.
Yeah, plenty of fishing rods too.
You have what?
Fishing rods and reels.
Do you go out? Like fuck off, like can't see land out?
Yeah, so I have a flats boat right now, and we're trying to sell it because we just bought a little bit larger, more comfortable boat. But we can go out if we need to.
Well, I don't want to go out. I don't like not seeing fucking land out. I want to be able to be like, yep, shit hits the fan. I know direction I'm going. I've never been, or otherwise you go deep sea fishing, or what do you mean out? Like, explain to me in terms of an average, not smart person.
Yeah,
okay, yeah. There you go. $363 nonstop. That's United standard. I fly United. They do not plug me, or they do not pay me. I fly United. I love fucking United.
Do they drag you out of the plane if you're not compliant?
I'm fucking compliant. Here's the deal. I am a non-rule following individual. Right, I like to make my own rules. Is right, and here's my rule: I want to get where I'm going. So whatever fuck games I did be threatened or not, whatever. She got shitty with me back when masks were a thing, and I went full hua because she's like, it's not over your nose. So I put the mask over my entire face and just looked at her with it over my eyes and my nose and my mouth. My girlfriend was not impressed with me at the time because I was so like COVID was fucking over, right? By that point, it was a what are we fucking doing kind of situation.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, I've never been dragged off a United flight. I flew United. Did I fly? I flew United 2 weeks ago. Fantastic experience. There we go. United, if you would like to sponsor me, if you're listening, hook a brother up. Huge fan of the United Club. That's so. I read a thing the other day. It was a tweet and X. What do we call tweets now? X's? What are they called?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Tweets on formal. That's a good question. What do we call tweets now? I'm gonna Google that right now since we're all over the fucking place. And what is this we shit too? What do we call tweets now? Oh, posts. They're just called posts. Well, that was fucking weak. All right. So as of July 2023, when Twitter rebranded it X, posts on social media networking sites are now called posts instead of tweets. I don't know if I like that. Anyways, it was this guy was like the things I did the last 5 years, the most impactful thing I did every year the last 5 years. And I told myself years ago, like 5, 7, 8 years ago when I was traveling, to me, success was a United or American club membership. This was this like totally vain thing, right? So like maybe 4 years ago, I applied for a United Black Card because it gets you membership, and I got denied. And I was like, okay, that's my new goal, right? And I didn't tell anybody about it. I just was like, okay. And it was, 2020 was a shit year for business and credit and da-da-da-da-da, right? And then the next year I reapplied and I got the whatever Black Card. And that's one of my treats, right? Like I love traveling. And one of my treats is when I travel, I like my little woosah space. I also, when I'm traveling for work, I want to be able to sit down, use my laptop, and they have little private offices. So like, especially Vegas, I spend a lot of time in the Vegas airport. Because that's, we go there 2 or 3 times a year for conferences. So I can go there, sit down and work for a couple hours. Because normally there's a gap between when I got to get out of my hotel and the conference ends. And so whatever, it's productive time. So anyways, that is, you have a fucking boat. I have the ability to go drink free decaf coffee. It's actually, the other thing is a lot of people get it for the booze. I don't drink. So I'm not even taking advantage of United. They're getting the better of me here.
Honestly, our fridge, we have 2 fridges in the garage. We got married in May, so we have a ton of soda left. And not to brag, we do have a Keurig as well. So more than welcome.
Brett, you got a boat and a Keurig. What are we doing? I already told you $363. I'm pot committed. I already looked. I looked the week of November 10th. I don't know why. Actually, February, is it warmish in February? Or is it still shit?
The water temperature?
I don't give a shit about anything.
Or just overall temperature?
Yeah, like if I go to Florida, like when are the months to not go because it's like not even worth it? December, January, February?
Are you talking from like a crowd perspective, like driving perspective? Like,
I want to go I want to go in the ocean, or I want to go in the Gulf and it to be warm still.
I'd say up until September, October, December. I don't know, maybe November-ish. Like yesterday it was 89, so it'll probably towards the end of the year drop down to like the mid 70s, but it's usually pretty nice for a while.
I'm a huge fan of just fucking off on a Sunday. Like that's my treat. That's like, because I work from home on Friday, so I like to like leave out midday on a Thursday, go down to O'Hare, get on a bird, fly 2 hours, go somewhere for the weekend, be back in the office Monday morning. Like that's my sweet spot. 3 days, see something new. And I love seafood. And I do not eat seafood in the Midwest because it's not it's frozen crap that's breaded and deep fried.
Yep.
I'm a foodie, and I'll tell you this, Milwaukee's not a food town. Now that I've traveled the country and I've had the opportunity to travel, Milwaukee, beer, brats, and cheese. If you are a beer, brats, and cheese kind of person, we're good to hook. So
I do
All
have a
right.
smoker too. So, but anyways, that's another
You have a
story.
what? A
A smoker?
smoker? Oh,
Yep.
good. Yeah, yeah. I am not patient enough for a smoker. I appreciate smoked meat. I appreciate people that have patience. All right, Grant, I'm coming down. You just say you got married in May? New marriage?
Yeah, and
Which
it's actually kind of to tie back into my relationship, well, my professional relationship with Russ.
is this,
um, we,
is this his sister or what?
what's that?
It's not his sister, is it?
No, 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 no. My relationship with Russ, it was tremendously helpful because I was able to, still pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I'm actually getting married tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm sending all my incoming business to so and so," which was Russ, and he graciously, accepted my offer and whatever we agreed upon previously.
Yeah.
Took all my incoming business for about a month, which was
Oh, wow.
super helpful.
What'd you do that month? You were just on a honeymoon or what? Just getting ready?
Well, we had I was getting the house ready because we actually had it in our backyard. So between that and all the family that came down after the wedding,
Yeah.
we wanted to spend time with. So it was really nice to kind of get away from work and just spend time with family. That was probably my favorite part of the wedding.
Well, there you go. That's a win-win, right? Like that's what it's supposed to be. In the book 10x is easier than 2x. They talk about buyer-buyer relationships where both people have something they want to buy from the other person, right? So you wanted to buy time, he wanted to buy leads for all intents and purposes, and both people won, right?
Yeah.
You got to keep your business, you got to enjoy the time with your family, and he got to support, or he got to continue running his business and support you in a totally ethical, above board way. Um,
Yeah, and part of at least one of my favorite parts about it is like I send the client or have Russ reach out, uh, and the fact that I can send them to someone who I know is going to be respectful for one, is going to get the job done, not create any damage, and just overall be a great fit for the job. Obviously, as Russ and his guys are. So
yeah,
that is a resource I think that is tremendously valuable, and I'm sure a lot of other junk removal companies would feel the same.
yeah, absolutely. All right, this hour's gone by quickly. Um, let's get to the big finish. Top takeaways today, Grant.
Yeah. So obviously, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I would say the affirmation that as a business owner, especially an owner operator, you have to make decisions every day, and the business relies on those decisions. And obviously, as you love data, the data which you draw up to those decisions. But it's been really affirming to talk to you and to kind of uh, you know you stay on the right track. And in business, you have a lot of obstacles. And oh, this job pushed me 3 days, so now I'm going to be late to the next one. It's really nice to know that you're doing okay. You know, you don't doubt yourself as much.
Yeah, the thing is, business entrepreneurship is a roller coaster, right? And the more infrastructure, the more foundation you build, right? And that foundation is knowledge. The foundation is processes. The foundation is people. The more you build that up, the flatter the roller coaster becomes, right? When your foundation's down here, you get this whole range of shit that can go right and go wrong, right? You do this job, you think, oh, I'm on top of the fucking world. It's like, well, reality is about to hit, buddy, you know? And when you build up this foundation of knowledge, it's like you're going to still have highs and lows. We had a situation last week in our business. I'd have fucking lost my mind a year ago on. 8 years ago, I wouldn't even know how to handle it. And I was like, okay, is it handled? Yep. And what it was one guy, newer guy, backed his truck into another truck. It's like, well, why did he put the truck in reverse without a ground guide? Did he not? He didn't use the backup camera. He didn't get out and look. He didn't look for overhead obstacles. He didn't put the parking truck to figure out where the hell am I compared to other things around me. And it's like, cool. And all I said was, great. Write up the incident report, follow the process, the strike count with the employee, and get a quote to get the one or both trucks repaired. Right? 8 years ago, I'd have been like, I don't fucking know. Goddamn insurance. Fucking, I ain't got the money. Good to right. Even a year ago, there probably would have been a coffee cup casualty. Right. And yet I now have processes in place, right? I accept that people are going to make choices that negatively impact my business, right? Damage is not acceptable, right? The employee is no longer of the employee with us because he was held accountable and did not want to be held accountable. And so that made it really easy for him to choose to work other places. Done, problem solved. Um, and so, yeah, that foundational knowledge allows you to go through those highs and lows, and they start to normalize. They start to be like, okay, this is life, and this is what I'm going to. Pride and Service Junk Removal. What up? Good day to you too. My top takeaway from today's episode is your appreciation, right? It's that's it. I really want to double it. I appreciate your vulnerability sharing it, right? That's huge, right? Man to man to be like, hey, you matter, right? And you're a reason why I'm here today. That means a lot. And knowing that what I do matters, right? The vulnerability from you is a lot, and then also hearing it and receiving it matters, because when I shut out guys like Russ Berry or Justin Waltz or Taylor, right? It's like, yeah, these people matter to me. These people have taught me stuff. These people have shown me a better way of doing things. Or Tracy Sheffield or Jeff Sheffridge, whatever. Tracy, right? Like people that have impacted my life. And so that's my big takeaway. When it comes to this junk removal community, that's what we're doing here. Right? It's a Trash Talk Business podcast, and this is the place we come to collaborate. This is the place that we come to build this community of individuals that want to serve our community, right? Provide reliable, responsible junk removal services. And where I come into play is bridging the knowledge gap and bridging the relationship gap between where people are and where they want to get to. So I'm honored that you came on as a passive listener to a contributor to now as a guest. And I'm honored that you joined our industry, right? I've been doing this for 15 years. You're a year into it, right? And you said, hey, I find value in this industry. And that's what's going to grow this industry is good people, good proprietors that want to come and build this industry. And when this industry grows, we grow. The whole industry grows, right? When we have an abundance mindset, we're going to grow this industry because consumers are going to keep buying shit. Manufacturers are going to keep selling shit. And waste and removal companies are going to continue not taking stuff, right? The laws and regulations are going to push us in a position to recover more material. And I agree with that, right? So what can we do as an industry to meet the needs and meet the needs of the community and meet the needs of the country for that matter? So I'm honored that you decided to join us, and I'm excited for your journey. And I'm definitely going to take you up on the Florida invitation. Because that sounds interesting. Last plug, October. I'm gonna say it again for those of you. October 25th, 26th, 2024, recycling weekend here at our facility in Butler, Wisconsin. You can fly into Milwaukee. I'll put up all the information, where to fly, where to stay. Free. That's it. Come see my warehouse. Have fucking. I'll tell you what. I'll even buy lunch. There, done. I'll get them to Chipotle. We'll roll out Chipotle buffet, right? So there you go. I'm providing the coffee and the lunch. You're welcome, America. Because I want to share my experience, and I want to open up my doors to this industry and provide value to this industry so that everybody else can go out in their communities and provide more value to their community and to the overall recycling industry. So there you go.
Well, I appreciate that, and I think by doing what you're doing, it allows people like myself to better serve my clients and the community. And I think it all starts with doing right by the client in the first moment you show up on site. You gotta be a good person and do a good job.
Absolutely. Pick and service junk removal. Well, Pride. I'll say pick and service. Pick and service. That Pick and Save is our local grocery. It's our local Kroger, if you will. Where we'll be? It'll be here at Butler, Wisconsin, right outside Milwaukee. So 20-minute, not even 15-minute drive from the airport here in Milwaukee. 90 minutes to fly if you fly into Chicago. I fly out of Chicago almost exclusively because there's not a lot of direct flights from Milwaukee. Like what you end up doing when you want to fly to Milwaukee is you fly to Chicago, sit there for 2 hours, and then take a 15-minute flight from from Chicago to Milwaukee. So depending on your situation, you might be best off flying in Chicago, get a rental, drive up the 90 minutes, fart around, fly back home on Sunday, and hang out in Milwaukee for Saturday night. And we got great breweries, great downtown. that time of year, there'll be Oktoberfest everywhere. Actually, I know, yes. We will have, that is probably Oktoberfest / Halloween weekend. So if you want to get stupid in Milwaukee for the weekend, we can provide that for you. I will tell you where to go and where not to go. All right. Any last words for the good of the group, Grant?
Well, I guess thank you again for what you do for all of us. And it's been a pleasure getting to talk with you. And also, I talk with a bunch of people on Instagram. You know, I try and follow as many junk removal guys as I can. And it's always nice to, say hi and say, how's it going? And how's your business doing? And anything I can help us. So thank you again. And I really appreciate the community and all the answers you've provided throughout the years you've been doing this. So.
No, I appreciate that. Well, if you see anybody on the Instagrams, on the TikToks, I'm not really on there too much. So send them our way to have them tune into the Trash Talk Business Podcast so we can continue building this community and using this as our community sounding board here on the Trash Talk Business Podcast. All right, Grant, stick around a second afterwards so we can make sure you get uploaded. On behalf of Taylor, our producer, Grant, our guest, I'm Andy Weins, host of the Trash Talk Business Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Tap subscribe or follow to get the latest episode. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us a review and tell a friend to listen. To learn more, visit trashtalkbusinesspodcast.com. Bye now.